Hi everybody. My name is Juliana Kurokawa, and I'm here with Victor Landmann. And we're going to start a series talking about the teachings of A Course in Miracles. And we're going to try and share them in a way that it's accessible for everyone. So, hi, Victor. Do you want to say hello?
Hi, hello, thank you.
Yeah, so today we wanted to talk about specialness. That is a concept of A Course in Miracles that is very, how can I say? Because that's one thing about A Course in Miracles that I realized that sometimes we have to try and look at the words and see that they don't have the same meaning as they have in our daily life. So we should really read the Course in Miracles in a way that we don't assume that we know what the words mean. So what can you tell us about the specialness, Vita? Do you want to tell anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the most important topics in A Course in Miracles. I think there are maybe seven or eight chapters focused on this topic. And so when I think of specialness, I think that is it's not only about other people, because we tend to think that, okay, so I have this special person, like maybe a relative, maybe a parent, boyfriend, I don't know, whoever it may be. But actually, when A Course in Miracles talks about specialness, it is talking about our relationship with any perceivable object in our awareness, and how we tend to develop a special relationship with each one of those objects. Could be another body, or could be something that it seems like it's not alive, but we still may form a special relationship with something that it's not alive, but we have a relationship with that thing, right?
Yeah, that's very interesting because what is special for us when we say somebody's special or a place is special? I hear it all the time, people saying, oh, this place is very special. So when we say that, normally what we are trying to say is that this thing causes you some sort of feeling as if the place itself had the power to be the cause of any feeling or thoughts or senses that you have in your body, for instance. Or if we say that somebody is special, so normally you're trying to say this person how can I say, triggers something in you. And so normally we tended to use like in a positive way, saying that, oh, my mom is really special. She knows how to talk to people or anything like this. Or we say this chocolate cake is really special. So well, it always works when I don't know, when I'm feeling blue or something like that. So then we can, so what Vito was talking about, that we can create special relationships to objects and to people, it means that we develop a belief in our minds that people or things by themselves have the power to change the way we're feeling. So that is what is a special relationship. And in that sense, we can even sort of have a special relationship with the Courts and Miracles if we believe that the book is doing everything for us. What can you tell us, right?
Yes, exactly. And I think this, as you were saying, when we choose to believe that something causes either a feeling, or I mean, usually a feeling in ourselves. This concept is connected to the idea that we don't have the power by ourselves, so we choose to give this power to external things. And this is actually one of the strategies, the ego strategies, in order to keep us unaware in trying to find things in this world, right? We are always trying to find things. We are trying to find a special someone. We're trying to find a special place, special house, a special apartment. Um, it's funny because yesterday I was I was talking to my mother and I told her that I see myself living in a house. I don't see myself living in an apartment in the future. So I was telling her that I want to strive to so I can be able to afford a house in the future. So it's obvious that I have an idea that I'm going to be happier when I'm living in a house. And so I have a special relationship with this. And another interesting thing is that the special relationship's not really with the thing, like the concrete thing, the external thing, but rather with a concept that you have in your mind, right?
Yeah, because one thing that you might be asking yourself is, so what is the problem of having special relationships? So everybody has special relationships with everything, right? So the problem is like Vito was saying, so if you believe that certain places or certain things or certain people have the power to make you feel in a certain way, the thing is, what if those things are not around anymore? What if those people or yeah, the places, the food that you love aren't there anymore? So then you're going to be doomed to be unhappy for the rest of your life. So that is the point, that if you create special relationships with things and people and places, what happens is that you forget who you are, and you really think that you are, how can I say, that you are under the effects of people, things, and places. And that is the problem, because then, so if you look around, let's say the situation that we're facing now at the moment, so we don't even know if we're going to be able to travel tomorrow or next week. So we have this feeling that we don't have control on our lives, but actually we never did. It's just that now it's clear for us that we don't. But if you think of any situation, so many things can happen, unexpected things, and if we try to anchor our happiness, our peace of mind in those things, so there is no way that we can guarantee that we can have our peace of mind. So that's why having special relationships and considering things special are actually not helping you to be happy or to be in peace.
Yes, yes, that's perfect. And I think when we judge our current situation, and either it be like a negative judgment or a positive one, so I can say, okay, now I'm feeling happy because of this. And of course, this judgment is not always so, we're not so aware that we are making this particular judgment. But when we are making a judgment, either a positive one or a negative one, we are really reinforcing the idea that we have about ourselves. We are reinforcing a self-concept. And I think that's where we start to realize that this concept that we have built about our identity is really is really the source of the addiction, really, to continue to make all of those judgments. And we feel like we need to make those judgments really because we are trying to reinforce this small identity all the time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a really good point that you brought up. You know, when we, because we have a concept in our minds and we're trying to find safety, we're trying to find an assurance on things or people or places. And that was actually something that we were talking about this week about chocolate. So let's say you have a special relationship with chocolate. So
Yeah.
why doesn't it work? So you can tell, so you can, how can I say, you can just say, oh, but of course chocolate is always marvelous. Chocolate is always great. So
Yeah.
let's say that every time when you're angry, you go and grab a chocolate.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk about weight problems. We're not going to talk about diseases or anything like this. We're not going to go that far. But one thing that we, so if you try to bring your concept to the chocolate, and then there is like some data in your library, in your mind library, saying chocolate makes me feel good when I'm angry. So what happens if you have like a stomach problem on that day? So you don't really feel like eating chocolate, but you're angry. So what you going to do? So you don't want to eat chocolate, but and then that's when we get confused because we created a concept in our minds, and this concept tells us chocolate is what makes me feel good when I'm angry, but then sometimes it doesn't work, and then we are frustrated at the chocolate, and then we think that's chocolate's fault because we don't know that it comes from a decision in our minds to give our power away to chocolate. And that's just one simple example. So what we're trying to say here is that even though specialness is a very deep concept in A Course in Miracles, I'm sure you can relate to it like in many very simple examples in your life as like chocolate.
Yes. Yes, that's great. And yeah, I mean, we tend to make these small investments in like everyday small things. So it could be the chocolate, it could be, I don't know, taking a shower, uh, maybe when you feel anxious, when you feel angry, I don't know, and you are home, you want to take a shower. I'm gonna take a cold shower, and I always feel better after a cold shower. And and that's how we form these habits, right? It's I think it's because we start believing that something makes us feel, I don't know, better somehow, right? And then we are always trying to repeat the same actions, the same experiences. We are always trying to go back to the same places, trying to recreate that same experience. Um, I feel like we're always trying to avoid recognizing the power of our decision. And that's why we are always saying, okay, I felt this way because I did that, or because someone told me this, or so it's always because of something external. And it's never because our own decision. And I think the topic of specialness really connected to trying to avoid the recognizing our own power, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, that can be terrifying because, if nobody is causing whatever it is that I'm feeling, then it might feel very lonely, like I'm isolated from the whole world, like I'm not letting the world touch me in a way, So that's why I think sometimes it might seem like terrifying, but and you can also have a special relationship with the Course in Miracles. So if you believe that if you don't wake up every morning and do your lesson first thing in the morning, and let's say so your alarm clock didn't ring, so and then you didn't have time to do your lesson, your lesson of the day, and if you believe this is going to ruin your day, then you have a special relationship with the Course in Miracles because you don't realize what makes your day actually is a decision in your mind of how your day is going to go. So, yeah, so this is a very interesting topic, but we don't want to be talking about it forever. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But I think we managed to scrape the surface of this topic because we can go deep into this topic, right? So there's so many different facets to this one topic.